Welcome to the Grassroots Army podcast. This platform is for common sense people looking for up-to-date, accurate, and truthful information without the hot garbage corporate media bias. The power of one can lead to the power of many. You never know what small act that you may say or do that may literally change the lives of millions tomorrow. And don't you ever think that you can't make a difference, because you can. Good morning, my fellow Michiganders. Good morning, my fellow Americans. Welcome to the Grassroots Army podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Garrett Soldano, and my goodness gracious, just like we said time and time again, every single morning that we wake up, what is going on that is happening in our country that is fantastic. And Trump, just like we said before, he is the Energizer Bunny. Can you all just imagine where we would be at right now if Kamala would have won or Sleepy Joe would have won? I mean, we would not be experiencing the awakening that's happening throughout our world right now. President Trump is just everywhere doing everything that is just pro-America, putting America first. Everything that he said he's been doing with times 10. I mean, it's great. I mean, we're only a little over 100 days in, and look at all the positive impact that President Trump is having on a global scale. It's so much, in fact, that the Democrats, they can't even keep up, because whenever they try to stand up against with what he's doing, that he's a threat to democracy, that he's a fascist and he's a Nazi and he's racist, he just continues to follow through and do what's right. And they can't even say nothing. They're starting to get a little quiet. Now, there are a few of them out there that are still kicking and screaming, but the majority of them are starting to just go, well, wait a minute, like, he's kicking some serious ass, and what are we going to do about it? I mean, what else can they say? So it has been fantastic, which makes 2026 huge. 2026 in the state of Michigan is huge. For the first time in the history of our state, we have not only an open gubernatorial seat, but also a Senate seat. It is all hands on deck in the state of Michigan. Trump is going to be very involved in the state of Michigan. And that's why late last night, there was some breaking news that, let me bring it up, the DeVos family has dropped a treasure chest into John James's campaign. And we're going to analyze this, okay? So they have put their thumb on the scale in the state of Michigan, which they have a past of doing, and anyone can support anyone that they wish. I really don't have a problem with it. But what I have a problem with is allowing the same kind of politicians with no experience to get elected, okay? And I think more and more of us are getting frustrated with this type of mentality, that we get unqualified candidates into office and they don't do what is necessary for we the people, all right? I am looking for a business person with executive experience to get at the helm of the ship of Michigan, and who that may be. I'm still waiting for that person to get on and get in the race. We'll see if that happens or not. But I just, like I said time and time again, I'm just not a fan of John leaving his congressional seat and opening up that for a potential Democrat win, because I like what we're waking up to every single day with President Trump getting momentum. And look, that all comes to a halt if he loses the House or the Senate. They'll start to impeach him, and then he's going to get stonewalled, and it's going to stop all the great momentum. And I wish John would have stayed in the congressional seat, but he didn't. He made a choice, and I respect anyone that throws their hat in the ring. There's no doubt about it. But it is interesting that the DeVos family has put their thumb on the scale with John. Now, let's analyze some things, because they did the same thing with Tudor Dixon last time. Tudor was pulling around 1% when she first got into the race. And then the DeVos machine got behind her, put $1 million into her campaign. She started to slowly get all the endorsements. And then she slowly got propped up and eventually got the Trump endorsement. And we can analyze and play armchair quarterback and all that stuff from here on out. But they only threw $1 million. Tudor raised, I think, under $200,000 in her last campaign, even though We the People, and We the People's run for governor, our campaign raised about $2.2 million. Just to reiterate, 94% of that came under the amount of $200, small dollars. We have a grassroots army behind our campaign. So that's one thing that I think the establishment is very afraid of, is allowing the grassroots to have a say in this thing. And I think, in my humble opinion, that what we are doing this weekend is going to throw a ripple in the establishment's plan. Because with the DeVos family throwing $5 million, not $1 million like they did in Tudor, they have thrown weight behind John James. And so let me predict how John's campaign is going to run from here on out. Now that he's got the backing of the DeVos family in a $5 million war chest to deal with, and rumor has it that Ronna McDaniels and Shane Wallace, I think Brandon Hall broke this story, that they were starting a PAC to support John James. That news broke on his platform. And then they kind of came out with an article that says they're just building a PAC to help Republican candidates. I think they're going to try to start to build a team around John and run as a ticket. I can see them doing that. So John's going to get even more money. So here's how they're going to run John's campaign. John is going to run from the basement. He is not going to get out in front of the grassroots. They're going to probably put him in the counties of Macomb, in Ottawa, in Wayne, Kalamazoo, the big counties, right? Oakland. And they're probably just going to keep him doing establishment events from there, because I think 80% of the primary votes came from those counties. And they're not going to allow him to get in front of us, the grassroots folks. You know why? Because we hold people accountable. We ask questions, and they're not going to allow those questions to get through to John, because they're not going to allow John to answer those questions, because there are some things in his past and his voting record that are very, very concerning. All right. So I've already invited John onto my podcast to have a conversation. And Garrett, yeah, I have a little influence. I have several 100,000 followers on all my platforms. So I do have a little relevance in the state of Michigan. So John, there's your invite again. And I'll be waiting patiently for your campaign team to get a hold of me, to come on the show and have a conversation, a fair conversation, because Mike Cox is coming on, another guy who has announced his run for governor. He's coming on the show here in a couple weeks. Eric Nesbitt I had on earlier in the year when he was contemplating a run for governor. I will be having Kevin Rinke, who has still contemplating if he's running. He's invited to come on. I'm sure he's going to come on soon. Had Anthony Hudson, even the grassroots candidate, who I'm not a fan of. I've made that perfectly clear. Anthony Hudson has made a vow that if he has not raised over $1 million by June, he would exit out of the race. So I'm looking for that to happen, because I know Anthony Hudson has not raised $1 million. Maybe he has, maybe he has not. But he has said publicly on my show that if he has not, he'd be willing to drop out. We'll see if he's a man of integrity or not. But I have everyone either on the show or coming on the show except for John James. So John should reach out and come on my show, because I have questions that deserve to have answers, because I represent you, right? We the people. So we'll look forward to see if that happens, because one thing that they're afraid of, I guarantee this, is what we can bring to the table. Now, a lot of you may be thinking, oh man, how can we go up against $5 million and all this other stuff? Look, it's numbers. It's a whole different ball game now. It's not about money anymore. Money plays a huge part. Don't get me wrong, because you have to get your messaging out and everything else, blah, 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 blah. But social media, getting on podcasts, President Trump proved that again in this last election, going on Joe Rogan and all these big time shows. That's where you get into the voters now, because the majority of people get their news and media from where? Social media. Okay. So that's where the grassroots has potential. And that's why I put together this event this weekend in Grand Rapids, right in the DeVos family's own backyard. Okay. Grassroots Army Unfiltered. Guess what? We're having 3 former gubernatorial candidates, once rivals, now standing shoulder to shoulder. We're not bought. We're not owned. We're definitely not controlled. And guess what? The political establishment fears this. They don't fear us 3. They fear the people who we represent. There's going to be no handlers, no scripts, no sugarcoating. We're just going to give raw truth, bold convictions, and real solutions by the people, for the people. This is not a rally, folks. This is a grassroots awakening. We are going to be pulling the curtain back on the corruption in this corrupt state. the Good Old Boys and Girls Club in the state of Michigan, exposing how this machine works and showing you how we take Michigan back together. So I want you to make your pilgrimage to freedom. I love nothing more than going on the platforms and seeing people are traveling from Detroit, from all areas of the state, to come listen to what we have to say. So bring your questions, bring your convictions, and I want you to do this. I said this time and time again. It's not each one teach one, it's each one teach many. So I don't want you to come by yourself. Bring someone. And we don't care if they're Republican, Democrat, Independent. Bring someone with you. Ask questions, because we're not just going to talk and ramble on stage. We're going to interact with all of you. No fluff, no games, just real talk with those who have been in the fight, who have stayed in the fight. All right? So I want you to come to this event, because this is what the establishment fears most. They are so afraid of independent thinkers. They are. And so I put this event on to give you all a voice. So I need you to show up. And that's what you have done for me in the past, and what you have done for Ryan Kelley and Kevin Rinke. You guys have shown up. And I'm asking you all to show up again. That's why I did it on Saturday afternoon, to make sure all the sports stuff is over, because I know when we get into June, we have graduations, we have all this other stuff, we have tournaments on the weekends. So I try to pick a date where you could be able to show up. So take some time out of your Saturday, be a part of the solution. This is your opportunity. This will be live streamed on the Midwesterner. We're going to have our media team from AZ there filming all of this. So if you can't attend, Midwesterner will be live streaming on X, and we will be shooting tons of video, and you guys will see clips from this and questions and everything else. So we'll have content for the next couple months probably, because it's 3 hours long. And the reason it's 3 hours, because I want to make sure that we get through a lot of the questions, because we have to have serious conversations with serious people, by we the people. And that's why we put this thing together, because I want to show you some statistics on why the establishment is freaked out about having us on the stage together. Because when we analyze last gubernatorial election and the results, you can see the top four people there: Tudor Dixon, Kevin Rinke, Garrett Soldano, Ryan Kelley. And you can see the voting breakdown. And my goodness gracious, when you add up Ryan Kelley, Garrett Soldano, and Kevin Rinke, that's 54.07% of the votes. That's 594,335 votes. That beats Tudor Dixon and the Trump endorsement, folks. That's the potential of what we're bringing to the table. That's how important this event is, and that's how important it is for all of us to get on the same page. Because I'm sick and tired of unqualified people getting into office. I'm sick and tired of career politicians getting in office that will say and talk a big game, but they don't follow through. Okay? That's why it's so important for people to come on and have open conversation with me. And the candidates who come on, I respect and I appreciate it. The candidates who refuse to come on my show and have a conversation with we the people is a red flag for not only me, but for all of you. It truly is. Because conversation is powerful. And that's why there is a lot of people awakened here in the state of Michigan, hundreds of thousands of us who have never been involved in politics, guess what, are now involved in politics. And I guarantee you this: if we unite and we all get on the same page, we can win. And we can change Michigan. What we all can agree, especially the people who follow me, is we're done with the old school politicians. We're done with the old school Republican Party. We truly are. President Trump ripped back the curtain, and we all are awakened and we're involved. And so that's why it's so important we don't do the definition of insanity, because looking at what's happening right now, it's like Groundhog Day. Is John James will run from the basement. They'll shelter him. They'll put out commercials about his messaging. There will be no accountability. They will shelter him from the grassroots. They will not allow questions to be asked about his voting record and what he believes in and why didn't he take a stand on this and that. There won't be. They're going to run him from the basement. And with the DeVos family and their influence in the state of Michigan, because they have a lot of influence. They do. They're very involved. John will start to get key endorsements, just like Tudor Dixon did. And they'll slowly start to prop him up. That's what they'll do. But that can all come to a halt with all of us getting on the same page. It can. And I wanted to get on this show here today to allow you to understand and know that you have a voice. And guess what? Your voice is relevant. Your voice is loud. And if we can get behind the right candidate, we can make a splash. Now, are we going to agree on everything? Nope. But we have to get away from that mentality, right? That if you don't agree with me 100% of the time, you're a rhino. I hate that word, right? But if we can get the right candidate who has great policies, who's not a career politician, who has proven business and executive experience, because that's what a governor should be, then we can start a ripple. And Michigan can be what we all know and believe it can be, is the powerhouse of this nation. I firmly believe that. We just need to have the right representation, and it starts with all of you, and it starts this Saturday at this event at Grace Fellowship Church in Comstock Park, which is just North Grand Rapids. Totally raw. It's free. All right. I think the church holds a couple hundred people. If there's only standing room only, that's a good thing. We're going to try to pack it in as much as we can. We're going to have security there to keep out the craziness. But this is your opportunity to come and be a part of the solution. And we're going to interact. It's going to be raw. It's going to be entertaining. I'm really looking forward to this. I truly am. So make your pilgrimage to freedom. I know Carla Wagner is going to be there. I've had a lot of messages from people saying, hey, can we set up a table for the Acts of Michigan tax petition? Absolutely. Carla Wagner's team is going to be there. There's a lot of other people are going to be setting up those petitions. Yes, bring the petitions. Get the signatures, all that good stuff, and be a part of the solution. So we will continue to do what we do best, is activate and inspire Michigan and America's greatest asset, and that is we the people, all of you. So make your pilgrimage to freedom. Come on down, bring a friend, bring 5 friends. It's free to the public. And in the description of this video is a link to the Facebook event page. Let us know we're coming so we have an idea. I think last time I checked, we're around 80 for sure, a couple hundred interested. Okay, let's get that puppy up above 100 in and 300 interested. All right. And that will be a good event because there's a lot of people that are coming that are not on social media. I've been talking to Ryan Kelley and Kevin Rinke about that. Lots of people are going to be there. So it should be a great, exciting event. Okay. So what I need from all of you, and I ask a lot of you, I know I do, I've been asking a lot of you over the last 5 years, is we have to make a statement to the political establishment that we, the people, are not going anywhere. We're not. We are going to be here. We are going to be involved, and you're going to have to listen to all of us. And I will continue to do my part and do everything in my power to bring this information not only to you, but activate you. Get involved. Stay inspired. That's all I got today. Have a great Wednesday day. Say it like you spell it. I still do that, and I still count on my fingers. Have a great day. I'll see you all Saturday. Go to the event page. Bring 5 people. Let's make it a great event. Let's make it a great turnout, and let's make a statement to the establishment that this is our state. This is our party, and we will not go silently into the night. We're definitely not going to just walk away from a fight. Grassroots is raw, and we're in this thing. Have a great day. God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan. Of course, and always, God bless these United States. Till next time.